Good day everyone, we are the Terrific Studs and today in this video we will tackle about the business units of SM Investments Incorporated, its related risks and ways to control or mitigate, and the related strategies for each business units. So sit back and relax as we explore the annual report of SM Investments Incorporated. So first, let us start with question number 1. So identify the different business units of SM and discuss their products. So SM Investments Corporation is the holding company of the SM Group with interest in retail, property, and banking. So in retail unit, we have SM Retail Incorporated, the holding company of the group's retail and merchandising operations. So SM Retail organizes its operations into three categories, namely non-food, specialty, and food. So later, we will discuss each of these items. So in property unit, we have SM Prime Holdings Incorporated, one of the largest integrated property developers in Southeast Asia, and the developer of SM Prime Malls, residential, commercial properties, hotels, and convention centers. And lastly, the banking and financial unit, which is comprised of BDO Unibank Incorporated, the country's largest bank by resources, and China Banking Corporation. So the first unit, which is the retail unit, but before we go over each categories, let us first discuss its holding company, SM Retail Incorporated, to give us a background of its retail and merchandising operations. So the SM Retail is the holding company of the group's retail and merchandising operations, where SM Investment Corporations has a 77.3% effective stake. So SM Retail organizes its operations into three categories, namely non-food, specialty, and food. So this is what I've discussed a while ago. So it operates department stores under the SM Store brand and several food retail formats including supermarkets, hypermarkets, Save More, and Alphamart stores. So SM Retail also operates specialty stores focused on DIY, furniture, appliances, arts and craft, health and beauty, sports, pet supplies, toys, favorite brands, and more. So thus, it serves as a platform for local and international brands to be more accessible to the Filipino market. So for first category of retail unit, we have non-food retail. So under non-food retail, we have the SM store. So the SM store serves a wide customer base and is committed to providing an extensive range of up-to-date fashion. So they offer products from fashionable outfits, on-trend beauty products, exciting promos, and hassle-free services. So second, we have specialty stores. So as a background, in July 2016, several leading specialty retail stores were merged with SM Retail. So this includes Ace Hardware, SM Appliances, Home World, Our Home, Toy Kingdom, Watsons, Cultura, Baby Company, Sports Central, Pet Express, Stationery, and others. So first, we have Ace Hardware. So Ace Hardware is one of the leading hardware stores in the US. So it is an ultimate one-stop shop for the latest solutions for home improvement. So their core products are classified into main categories: paint and paint accessories, lawn and garden, plumbing, electrical, home hardware, small appliances, home basics, hand and power tools, automotive, chemicals, and pet care. Second, we have SM Appliances. So SM Appliances, it is a retail affiliate of the SM Group that is focused on the marketing of home appliances in the Philippines, such as TVs, mobile phones, refrigerators, aircon, home appliance, washing machine or dryers, and other appliances. Third, we have Home World. So Home World Shopping Corporation is an affiliate of SM, a one-stop home shop for storage and organizers, furniture, kitchenware, glassware, linen, and decor items for the modern homes. Fourth is Our Home. So our home is your favorite furniture store where you can find sofa, bed frames, dining sets, decors, office furniture, and other home accessories of your personal style. They also offer bespoke services and free interior design advice to customize furniture affordably according to your own specifications. So does our home surely offer a great deal and great prices like your slogan. So Toy Kingdom. Toy Kingdom is where you can shop your most loved toys and play essentials with just a few taps. So it sells a wide range of products that would meet the needs of every customer that fits any budget and kids of all ages. And next is Watsons. So Watsons is the #1 health and beauty retailer in Asia, which continually sets standards in terms of health, wellness, beauty, and personal care to each and every customer. So like their motto, they bring smiles to people's faces by making them look good, do good, and feel great. For continuation, we have Kultura. So Kultura showcases local artistry and crafts, supports communities, small businesses, and elevates pride in our identity. So it offers wide variety of local made products such as fashion for men and women, souvenirs, food and beverages, beauty and wellness, and crafts for a cause to promote products created by underserved communities and indigenous people. Next is Baby Company. So Baby Company is your happy, dependable, and caring partner in providing the best care for your baby. So making a motherhood a truly delightful experience. So it offers widest assortment of best baby care products and has well-trained baby specialists at all of its stores to help the consumers. So it's very convenient. Next is Sports Central. Sports Central Incorporated is a retail company specializing in athletic footwear, sports apparel, bags, equipment, and accessories. So it also offers a variety of brands at your choice, such as Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Under Armour, Converse, and many more. Next is Pet Express. So Pet Express is a pet shop which offers dog and cat supplies, grooming, veterinary, and boarding services. Their products include dog food and treats, dog clothing and fashion, dog and cat accessories and supplies, effective dog training programs, and many more. Next is SM Stationery. So Stationery carries the best brands in the market, offering high-quality supplies and arts and crafts products at affordable and competitive prices. So shopping for supplies at stationery is convenient and its ambience is a world-class feel. Next, we move on to food retail. So SM Retail has 5 food retail formats varying by size, namely SM Supermarket, SM Hypermarket, Save More, Walter Mart, and Alpha Mart. So the pictures in the side shows these retail formats which serves many different local markets nationwide. So now let us discuss the 5 food retail business unit and their distinctions. So first we have SM Supermarket. So SM Supermarket is the well-known, the pioneer brand of SM Food Retail Group, which sells a wide range of food and non-food items and services inside SM malls. Next, we have SM Hypermarket. So SM Hypermarket is a large format food retailer store with both standalone and in-mall locations. So it has been in operation since 2001 and provides a shopping experience that combines the features of a supermarket with those of a department store. So it has a larger selling area and offers a broader array of non-food products than SM Supermarket. Next, we have Save More. So Save More is a mid-size format introduced in 1998. So it is located in community malls or as a standalone store. So Save More is built as neighborhood format for impulse purchases, providing food and grocery items in residential locations where the availability of grocery products is either limited or that existed. So they also offers a extended opening hours, so it's very convenient. Next is Walter Mart. So Walter Mart is a mid-sized format like Save More that provides food and non-food shopping as an anchor tenant in Walter Mart community malls, located primarily in Luzon. So SM Retail acquired a controlling stake in Walter Mart in 2013. Lastly, we have Alpha Mart. So Alpha Mart is a small format mini mart grocery store situated primarily in residential neighborhoods and offers a range of essential groceries with supermarket pricing for the neighborhood it serves while helping to create local jobs. So, we're already done with retail arm. Now let us discuss the SM property arm. So, SM property arm comprises four business units, namely malls, residential, commercial, hotels, and convention centers. But before we discuss each of these items, let us first understand SM Prime Holdings Incorporated. So as a recap, SM Retail and Merchandising Operations is under SM Retail. Now in SM Properties, this is now under SM Prime Holdings, both still under SM Investment Corporation. So SM Prime Holdings Incorporation is one of the largest integrated property developers in Southeast Asia that develops innovative and sustainable lifestyle cities, comprising malls and buildings that serves as meeting centers. It is also engaged in residential property development under its SM Development Corporation subsidiary, offices, commercial property development, as well as various hotels and convention centers, contributing to the rapid urbanization of local communities. So now we already have a background of SM Prime Holdings Incorporated. Now let us proceed to the first business unit under property, which are malls. So SM Prime Malls business unit operates and maintains modern commercial shopping malls. So its main sources of revenue includes rental income from leased shopping spaces, cinema ticket sales, and other amusement income. So SM Prime has 76 malls in the Philippines with a total gross floor area of 8.7 million square meter and 7 shopping malls in China with a total of gross floor area of 1.3 million square meters. So recently in 2020, SM Prime Malls business opened two new malls in the Philippines, namely SM City of Butuan and SM City of Mindropo. For the second business unit under property or residentials. So SM Prime Residential Development Arm or SM Development Corporation derives development revenues largely from the sales of condominium units. So it typically launches 15,000 to 20,000 units annually, including high-rise, mid-rise, and single detached housing. These projects are located in Metro Manila and key provincial cities such as Air Residences, Berkeley Residences, Bloom Residences, Blue Residences, and more, which provides access to luxurious urban living through vertical villages that are integrated with a commercial retail environment for a truly cosmopolitan lifestyle. So in secondary residential business, SM Prime also owns leisure and resort developments, including properties in the vicinity of Tagaytay Highlands and Tagaytay Midlands Golf Clubs in Laguna, Tagaytay City, and Batangas. It is also the developer of Pico de Loro Cove residential community within Hamilo Coast. For the third business unit of SM Prime, we have commercial properties. So SM Prime Commercial Properties business unit is engaged in the development and leasing of office buildings in prime locations in Metro Manila that primarily caters the growing business process outsourcing or BPO industry. So these are located in the cities of Quezon, Pasay, Makati, Taguig, and Las Piñas. So their assets outside Metro Manila are located in Clark in Pampanga, Tagaytay and Rizal, and Santa Rosa in Laguna. So examples of office buildings under SM are 2 Ecom Center, 3 Ecom Center, 5 Ecom Center, SM Makati Cyber 1 and 2, SM Cyber West, NU Mall of Asia, Aura Office Towers, SM Taytay BPO Tower, SM Santa Rosa Dakur, SM South Mall South Tower, and more. Lastly, we have hotels and convention centers as business unit under property arm. So SM Prime Hotel and Convention Centers business unit manages 8 hotels located in Tagaytay City, Batangas, Pampanga, Cebu City, Davao City, Pasay City, Iloilo City, and Quezon City with more than 1,900 rooms, which offers luxury hotel services, making it an ideal choice to stay. Further, it also operates 5 convention centers located in the Mall of Asia complex in Pasay City, SM Lanang Premier in Davao City, SM Aura in Taguig City, SM City Bacolod in Bacolod City, and SM City Olongapo Central in Zambales, and 3 trade halls located in SM Mega Mall, SM City Cebu, and SM Seaside City Cebu for large-scale events and conferences. These hotels and convention facilities aims to take advantage of the growing tourism and entertainment sectors. For the last arm, we have banking services, which comprises 2 business entities, namely BDO and China Bank. First, we have BDO. So BDO is a full-service universal bank in the Philippines. It provides a complete array of industry-leading products and services including lending, deposit taking, foreign exchange, brokering, trust and investments, credit cards, corporate cash management, and remittances. Further, through its local subsidiaries, it offers leasing and financing, investment banking, private banking, rural banking, life insurance, insurance brokerage, and stock brokerage services. Next, we have China Bank. The China Banking Corporation was incorporated in 1920 as among the first privately owned banks in the Philippines. It has historical strength in catering to the Chinese-Filipino commercial sector as well as local corporate and retail banking segments. So China Banks offers a complete range of deposit, lending, international, and investment products. Also, through its local subsidiaries, it offers investment banking, securities broking, insurance broking, and thrift banks services. Now that we are already done identifying and discussing each business units, so let's proceed to question number 2. For each business unit of SM, provide an example of a business risk it faces and then describe an example of a control that could be used to reduce the business risk your group has identified. First, under retail business units, the retail business unit in SM stores comes with inherent business risk. So under retail arm business units, we have identified operational business risk of inventory theft of physical items because the operations of retail stores are very complex and dynamic to customers. Shops such as SM Store, SM Appliances, and other specialties such as Watsons and Ace Hardware are prone to shoplifting and theft to both employees and customers alike, partly due to the nature of showcasing the products to be sold directly to the customers. Additionally, products are displayed in the open and customers can directly interact with the displayed products, including picking up the products, observing, touching, etc. Thus, the opportunity for theft and shoplifting is present. In order to mitigate the risk, one example of a control that can be utilized for this risk is to install physical security systems in order to monitor and protect physical displays and inventory of the store. This can include video monitoring equipment, sensor-based product tags and labels, lock display cases for items that can be easily stolen, and alerts that sound when customers enter or leave the store. This method helps prevent theft, lessen the opportunity to shoplift, as well as discourages people from stealing. Next, let us discuss business risks related to property business units as a whole. SM is one of the largest integrated property developers that offers innovative and sustainable lifestyle cities with the development of malls, residences, offices, hotels, and convention centers. So with this, we have identified heavy compliance risks because like any other businesses, they are also subject to compliance of the law, compliance to corporations as large. So for large corporations as groups like SM, this problem translates to slowing down the real business to comply with these requirements. So big corporations are not immune to the law, no matter how large or profitable the business is. So one non-compliance can make big corporations immediate closure and termination. Besides tax compliance, there's also a need to file meeting minutes, board resolutions, general information sheets, and other pertinent documents with the SEC. From the risks identified, one of the controls that helps mitigate compliance risks is to create a strict corporate governance and rules and regulations that covers all the policies, rules, internal and external controls to which an organization must conform. When in compliance, an organization's activities will be in full accordance with the rules and laws applies to its processes headed by a specific compliance officer or group authorized by the company. So this officer or group should oversee the operations of the business and is tasked to comply with laws and regulations. For example, SM Prime Holdings has in their corporate governance manual that states all directors, officers, and employees are expected to comply with all the provisions of the revised manual on corporate governance. The company's compliance officer is tasked to monitor compliance with the manual and impose corresponding penalties for non-compliance. The corporate governance manual is reviewed on a regular basis to update and align with the leading practices in corporate governance. Additionally, it can also be stated under the risk management system of SM Holdings regarding regulatory risk compliance. For instance, Corporate Compliance Group is responsible for monitoring compliance with mall permits and licenses, environmental and other external regulations. The company has developed a permits handbook for malls and automated one-time and yearly government permits monitoring system. Further, the company conducts regular employee awareness and mandatory compliance to the Code of Ethics, Data Privacy Act, and other external regulations through e-learning modules. Thus, it gives a assurance that the part of the operations and dealings within the institution is strictly comply with the rules and regulations within the corporate governance manual, and compliance of the business is headed by the compliance officer and corporate compliance group. Lastly, we shall discuss business risks related to banking services. So for banking services, one example is the economic risk that greatly affects and influences the direction and condition of banking. So the economic situation in which banks are dependent on are very hard to predict, complex, and deals with multiple factors. So the entire banking industry is unpredictable. Thus for this unit, the business risk is the risk associated with the failure of a bank's long-term strategy, estimated forecast of revenue, and number of other things related to profitability. So to avoid repercussions related to banking services, as we all know that business risk demands flexibility and adaptability to market conditions. So long-term strategies are good for banks, but they should be subject to change. So the long-term strategies must have backup plans to avoid business risk. Thus, one of the controls to diminish or mitigate the business risk is to create a function dedicated to estimate economic situations in order to provide intelligence and advice to decisions made in the business. For example, at BDO, part of their corporate governance is the enterprise risk management. Risk management at BDO begins at the highest level of the organization. So at the top of the risk management infrastructure is the board of directors who is responsible for establishing and maintaining a sound risk management system. So the board of directors assume oversight over the entire risk management process. So it has the ultimate responsibility for all risks taken by the bank. Okay, so that's all for business units and assessments of risk and ways to mitigate them. So for the latter parts of the slides, this will be discussed by my co-mates.
Number 3, for each business unit, categorize its strategy as being focused on customer intimacy, operational excellence, and product leadership. In the retail sector, customer intimacy is a business strategy based around close attention to customer needs, and it measures a company's alignment and prioritization of those needs. One of the many ways customers navigate and enjoy SM malls is by seeking assistance from on-ground concierge and guards or by engaging in strategically placed digital directories. With this, SM found the need to improve assistance with new technology. At the core of SM Supermalls is customer service to make the shopping experience easy, enjoyable, and seamless. The company understood the customer's point of view. Introducing the country's first ever intelligent customer service robot is a great way to deliver customer service in a fun, novel way. In 2019, one of the SM's critical digital marketing goals is to provide its customers with an enhanced and frictionless customer experience. It was a threefold strategy involving customer assistance, gamification, fun, and serving targeted content. In operational excellence is the implementation of business strategy more consistently and reliably than the competition with lower operational risk, lower operating costs, and increased revenues comparative to its competitor. SM Retailing Industries monitored or approved implementation of all marketing and sales related activities local and nationwide. The strategy that they should exercise is to implement programs for the constant improvement, enhancement of the physical value of the mall by creating systems to ensure a safe, secure, and convenient environment that will encourage customers to patronize mall products and services continually. Also, it would significantly improve if SM Retailing Industries establish coaching and developmental programs for direct reports through performance management. The product leadership in retail sector as a competitive strategy aims to build a culture that constantly brings excellent products to the market. Here, product leaders achieve premium market prices thanks to the experience they create for their customers. Currently, SM Retailing Industries practice the clicks-to-bricks strategy, which is usually employed by online retailers who open physical stores to build brand awareness and engage with customers. The strategy would support its brick-and-mortar business as buyers can go online to pick items they want to purchase from any mall tenants and later pick up their orders from an SM mall. Also, another strategy that will effectively and consistently improve the current product leadership of SM Retailing Industries is by implementing policies, guidelines, and procedures across all areas according to company standards, government regulation, and statutory requirements to maximize shareholders' return and maintain leadership in the industry. As for the property sector, the customer intimacy in property sector, improving customer service can be a well-suited strategy for SM property industries since the property management will immerse themselves in various people interested in investing their homes in one of the SM properties. SM is a company that has a built-in strong reputation for having various investors, branches, and stores that should uphold their current standing in the market. A business strategy that focuses on improving customer service will usually have a great impact on their objectives, potential customers and investors, and their reputation. As for their operational excellence, a growth strategy is an organization's plan for overcoming current and future challenges to realize its goals for expansion. Examples of growth strategy goals include increasing market share and revenue, acquiring assets, and improving the organization's products or services. The growth strategy will be suitable for the SM commercial property industry because it will have competitive advantages that make SM hard to beat in their game, evident in their group rewards program. They operated with lowest cost funds from having several publicly listed companies, their distribution which gained them clout and extra margins. Their profitability enabled them to donate billions to school and in every major disasters in the Philippines. Their business model, redefining a set of core businesses with each core from their hundreds of companies capable of tapping into new adjacencies to expand, transforming the continuous and cumulative investment of core to adjacencies to making SM Group as a powerhouse. As for their product leadership, the SM commercial property industry will implement an integrated financial strategy across their businesses, a strategy that is aimed at growth that is flexible in the face of market developments and that benefits from the interrelatedness of our core businesses. By adopting a long-term approach, it will be able to meet their financial requirements, fulfill their stakeholder objectives, and deliver their business goals. Their financial strategy will help the SM commercial property industry to remain strong, sustainable, responsible, and a leading player in all our markets for the long term. Lastly, in the banking sector, for the customer intimacy, improving customer service can be a well-suited strategy for SM property industries and also with their partnered banking establishments since the banking provides services and immerse themselves in various people interested in investing their money in one of the SM banking establishments. SM is a company that has a built-in strong reputation for having various investors, branches, and stores that should uphold their current standing in the market. A business strategy that's focused on improving customer service will usually have a great impact on their objectives, potential customers and investors, and their reputation. As for their operation excellence, at SM they have diverse businesses that each require their own financial strategy. The property and banking groups need capital as they pursue their growth agenda. The retail group, on the other hand, employs a capital-light model to keep costs variable and enable them to navigate through a competitive and low-margin environment. They look at each of their businesses on a standalone financial basis. They use sector-specific metrics to measure performance and validate that their financing plans are appropriate to CapEx needs and financial capacity. In this way, they remain competitive and relevant in the markets they operate in. At the same time, they encourage their group businesses to work together using cross-sector opportunities to further engage in their customers and deliver higher growth and lower costs. As for your product leadership, the SM commercial property industry and the banking establishment will implement an integrated financial strategy across their businesses. A strategy that is aimed at growth that is flexible in the face of market developments and that benefits from the interrelatedness of our core businesses. By adopting a long-term approach, it will be able to meet their financial requirements, fulfill their stakeholders' objective, and deliver their business goals. Their financial strategy will help the SM commercial property industry to remain strong, sustainable, responsible, and a leading player in all our markets for the long term. Number 4, identify one corporate social responsibility or CSR program of SM and discuss whether it is a good program or not. Provide also suggestions on how to improve such a program and the reason behind your suggestion. So in here, we identify SM Cares as their corporate social responsibility. SM Cares, a division of SM Foundation, is the corporate social responsibility arm of SM Supermalls. It was launched in 2004 to organize sustainability and community support efforts into a comprehensive program that tackles a wide range of initiatives. Program on persons with disabilities, environment, women, and breastfeeding mothers, senior citizens, and children and youth are among the advocacies of this foundation. SM founder and chairman Henry Sy Sr. established SM Foundation to render and extend help to the less privileged members of our society. The foundation has 4 areas of advocacy: education through scholarship programs and donations of school buildings to public elementary and high school, health and medical projects like medical missions with a mobile clinic, and renovation of hospital activity centers and religious community projects. So we choose the program of education through scholarship programs and donation of school buildings. To give emphasis of to give emphasis on the field of education through scholarship programs and donation of school buildings, SM helps provide underprivileged children with better quality public education by donating school buildings and classrooms in partnership with the Department of Education or DepEd. DepEd identifies areas in need to help address the backlog of classrooms in accordance with national requirements. With the new and conducive environment for learning, children perform better in school and are more inspired to learn, while teachers also become more effective. Moreover, the school buildings that were already constructed were equipped with student armchairs, wall fans, blackboards, teachers' desk sets, toilets, washroom facilities, and many more. Furthermore, their experiences with the scholarship program for over 2 decades strongly affirm their belief that when one family member graduates from college, the scholar can help another sibling go to school and serve as the key to lift their family out of poverty. Through the SM College Scholarship, they can help the youth reach their full potential and achieve their dreams. Now, is it a good program or not? Such program is indeed a great program because first, scholarships can help lessen the students' expenses upon going to college. Second, this scholarship will also encourage students to work hard and study for the profession that they want to pursue. And the third, the mass amount of bills and tuition fees among universities is one impediment in achieving the desired profession of some students. Hence, a financial assistance and the provision of online equipment or any other necessary paraphernalia for the online setup of learning is of big help. Thus, SM Cares offered scholarships to provide students with a better quality of education through scholarships because SM believes that education is one of the most important things that would help alleviate poverty and would give each individual greater opportunities not just for their own sake but also for their families. Now, provide suggestion on how to improve such a program and the reason behind your suggestion. So, one way to improve the scholarship program by SM is to balance the goals of the donors with the needs of the students. all in the context of a rapidly evolving world of a higher education funding. With the advent of COVID-19, we believe that providing students with online equipment and materials necessary for the new normal, which is the online setup of education, would be of great help to the students. In addition to financial assistance, it is recommended to provide students with stable internet connection, laptops, iPads or the like as a form of a scholarship grant. It is more practical to give students an option to choose what scholarship would they like to apply so as to suffice their needs in the online setup. As the current situation of today is different from before, we subscribe to the statement that says there is a necessity of change online if such has a relevance in addressing the current needs of today. Now, for number 5, after going over the annual report of SM, is the document purely a financial accounting document or not? Why or why not? So, the annual report of SM is not purely a financial accounting document, so the answer is no. The annual report of SM gave us the general information about their business, a detailed look at their operational as well as their financial information and performance, the key background of the people who are running the business, their corporate governance, and a sustainability report. The annual report also provides the future plans of the company to appeal interest of the investor, shareholders, and the public. That is why the annual report of SM is not purely a financial accounting document. Why is it not a purely financial document? So, in the SM annual report, there are 5 parts, and only the second part of the report contains the financial performance or the financial document of the SM. So, here are the parts. In the first part of their annual report, it talks about their business and interest, competition, suppliers, customers and clients, their enterprise risk management and report regarding their employees. It provides us general information on the company and the different business units with their products they are engaging. It also provides us the information about their equity investments and the percent of ownership they have in that particular company. In the second part of their annual report, it talks about their operational and financial performance through the year 2020. It tells us their market information such as the company's share of stock in the Philippine Stock Exchange, stockholder, and dividends information, their plan and results of operation and financial position. They also highlighted the impact of COVID-19 to the group's operations and earnings in the current year. As for the third part of their annual report, they provide key backgrounds and business experiences of the management, board of directors, and other important persons who control and make important decisions for the company's growth. In the fourth part of their annual report, it tells us about their corporate governance. As M recognizes the essential role that good governance plays in managing a world-class of organization and ensuring its long-term growth. The company is committed to driving the best practice of corporate governance throughout its businesses and ensuring a culture of appropriate engagement with all its stakeholders. And the last part of their annual report, it shares about the company's exhibit, schedules, and their sustainability report. So that's all guys. Thank you.